Okay.
Right. All right, so today we're here with Roxie, and this is her Roadmap to Success video. She's over there sleeping because she's a little tired. So when I first got here, I sat down with the guardians and we wanted to talk about how to help Roxie out with separation anxiety. And there's a couple things that we wanted to go over. One thing that I want to refer you to the video above this one is teaching her to stay. Remember, you don't want to tell her to stay though when you leave the house, because that will help have her then learn to break the stay, because at some point when you're away, she will get up out of the stay. So we don't want to tell her to stay when you leave specifically, but other times practicing the stay in the house is a great thing. So it'll teach her how to be not in the same room with you as you work up to that. It'll teach her self-control and emotional regulation. So keep working on the stay, and that'll be a great exercise to help her with the separation anxiety. Another thing that I want to encourage you to practice at least once a day for the next month is the leadership exercise. Remember, that's the one where you put the treat in between your feet and use the escalating consequences to establish that invisible barrier. That will help her also look to you as a leader, and will actually help her feel more secure with you in the leadership position, so she can reduce some of the anxiety that she might have, feeling like she has more responsibility in the home than you would even need or want her to have. She should feel like you're going to protect her, just like a parent or guardian would for their child. She wants to feel like she'd be protected, and that will help her also with that separation anxiety. So make sure to practice that a couple of times. If you can, even once or twice a day would be even more beneficial. Also, as a little quick tip, as a reminder, going forward, you can use that same method of establishing an invisible boundary in other places in the home. So you could establish that by the front door when guests come over, around the dining room table, in the kitchen while you're cooking, all sorts of places. But you just want to make sure everyone in the house is on board with where that boundary is, so everyone is establishing the exact same boundary lines, so there's not any mixed messages. I want to remind you to keep using the petting with a purpose. So remember, every time you pet her, she should be sitting, ask her to sit, or over time she should be sitting on her own to get attention. Essentially, if she's not doing a really good job and you wouldn't say, "Good girl, Roxie," that's not the appropriate time to be petting her. And that also wouldn't be if she's acting anxious, nervous, or fearful. Those also aren't times to pet her, because it doesn't come across to a dog as relaxing and soothing. It actually would be reinforcing that kind of anxiety or fear state for whatever is making her nervous. So that's a good time to redirect her, maybe go through some different tricks that she has. Okay, so for the separation anxiety, just a couple of quick tips on that. To remind you, the slower you go, the better. The quicker that you'll be able to get through this. It's definitely beneficial if you can have her somewhere during the day while you're at work, so she's not at home going through the entire separation anxiety state while you're away. So bringing her to a doggy daycare, a friend or family member's house while you're at work would be the most beneficial while working up to her being home alone for that time period. If you only have a short time period during the day when you can work on the separation anxiety, do something small. Pick up your keys and put them in your pocket while you're walking around the house. Pick up your purse, put your jacket on, and then do an activity in the house like doing laundry or cleaning up the countertops, whatever the case may be. Just try to attach the things that go along usually with you leaving the home with other random things in the house to help those not be triggers for her going forward. So those are just some quick tips. Otherwise, going through your routine and slowly leaving for short durations are all good ways to help her with that separation anxiety until you build up to longer time periods. So again, leaving for a couple of minutes, then going for maybe 10 minutes to 15 minutes, then maybe 30, 45 to an hour to an hour and a half, 2 hours to 4, and then so on and so forth. So those would be the durations that I would work with. Signals that you're moving too fast would be if she's getting too worked up when you come home, and she's panting, whining, crying, jumping up at the door, anything like that. If she does do that behavior, don't come into the house until she's calm. That way she learns that being in a calm state results in her and you coming into the house and being anxious does not get you to come back into the house. That will also help with the separation anxiety. So those are all the different methods that you can use to help Roxie overcome separation anxiety and move forward so she can be nice and calm in the house. And last, I want to remind you that everything you do trains your dog, only sometimes you mean it.